Pay attention, boy. Little mama, show me how you move it. Go ahead, put your back into it. Like it ain't nothing to it. Shake.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Jkun Presents. So it is now Tuesday, February 21st. It has been 2 days now since I have come back from the anime convention known as Katsucon, which is held up in the Gaylord National Resort in National Harbor, Maryland. As the title of this video states, farewell to Katsucon. I put that title up because I have decided that I will no longer be going to this convention, and that it's just no longer worth the time and the effort to just even bother with this convention anymore. I'm not so much going to say that the convention is bad, it's just not for me. I know that a lot of people had a lot of fun, but asking around and talking to some people, and I guess you could say conducting many interviews, a lot of people had a lot of the same grievances that I did. So I'm going to go down like a little checklist and talk about each one. So the notable mentions that I have for this convention is as follows. 1. The game room was absolutely terrible. Like, for the amount of space that they gave them, and I gotta tell you, like, the space they gave them was enormous. They didn't really utilize the space as well as I felt they should have. Like, there was maybe like 4 or 5 tables with 4 monitors each, and most of the time they were all playing the same game, and then you had like the arcade cabinets at the back with like Dance Dance Revolution, Taiko Drum Master, Beat Mania, stuff like that. But what made this so different from all the other game rooms I've seen in the past is the arcade cabinets in the back required you to use tokens. This was the first con I ever went to where you actually had to pay to play the consoles in the game room, and I thought that was just absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, which leads me to my next point, later on in the night, when the rave would be going on and everything, the rave and the game room were in the same place. So if you were running any tournaments, like I was at the convention, you couldn't hear what was going on. Like, there were several times I was standing next to a dude who had a microphone in his hand, and I'm standing next to the speaker, and things are just so loud that I can't even hear the guy, and he's right next to me talking into a microphone. And that's just completely unacceptable. But I thought that was very poorly done, and it really could have been executed a lot better. The convention, I felt, was just way too spaced out. There was not a whole lot going on, and this building is just so big that you felt like you were walking like quarter to half a mile just to get from one place to the other, and I feel that that's a little nuts. That may just be my preference to smaller conventions. Like, one of my favorite conventions is AUSA. It's all in one hotel, and it's all pretty close together. But this was... I'm certainly not against walking, but that was a lot more walking than I cared to do. Some of the cool things that happened, once again, I was a judge for the cosplay dance-off. Staff seemed to be nowhere to be found for this event. It's like they just did not care anymore. So we kind of had a no holds barred, no rules type of dance-off, and that made things a lot more interesting. I did, let's see, 3 tournaments while I was there. I did Soul Calibur 5, which, that was my own sloppiness, my own stupidity. I was doing things I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing, and, I wound up losing the first round. Tyrone, however, like, he had been talking that good shit all week. He's gonna win, he's gonna win, he's gonna win, and, the first 2 fights he was supposed to have, he got a bye on them because his opponents didn't show up. So by the time he actually did fight, he was technically in 3rd round. and he lost his first fight too. So I mean, I hazed him a little bit, but I do sympathize. Like, neither one of us did all that well this entire weekend. I did Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which I did about as well as I expected, because Marvel hasn't really been a big focus of mine for the past week or so. So I won my first match, and then I ran up against a Morgan, and I have no experience fighting Morgan, so she was very able to easily change me up and stuff, and that wound up costing me the match. Mortal Kombat, however, is the one that really upset me the most. I had really been focusing on that and just taking my time with it, practicing, doing lab work. I was ready to go when this tournament was starting off, and I get scrubbed out of the first round, and my saltiness was at an all-time high when that happened, because like, I didn't understand it. I was very upset. I was very angry. I was fighting against a character that I had the advantage fighting this character. Kung Lao versus Smoke. I was fighting a dude playing Smoke. In that match, technically, I mean, it's more even than some of the other matchups, but when you start looking through everything with a fine-tooth comb, Kung Lao has more of the advantage in that match. And just losing that just really, really upset me. But there's nothing else I can really do about that, other than just keep practicing, keep training, or if it's upsetting me that greatly, drop the game and move on to another one. So I haven't really decided what I'm going to really do with that. Another thing to touch on, the place is so big and everything is so spaced out that it was next to impossible to find any of my friends. Like, I maybe saw my friends 2 or 3 times the entire weekend for less than a couple minutes at a time. Everybody kind of had their own thing going on this weekend, which I don't blame nobody for that, but one of the big draws to going to a convention for me is seeing and hanging out with my friends that I don't get to see that often. The final thing I'm going to touch on that just really rubs me the wrong way with Katsucon is the fact that it is so damn expensive. Everybody was paying for rooms that were up to $500 and $600. The cheapest place around there is a Subway that is like 3 blocks away from the hotel. Anything near the hotel is just ridiculously expensive. I think Saturday for lunch, I got an order of chicken wings. I mean, everybody knows chicken wings. Chicken wings aren't that expensive. You get like a dozen of them for like a couple bucks. I got like a basket of chicken wings and a glass of water, and that shit was almost $20. That was insane. But yeah, I had a couple photo shoots and all that. Those were definitely a lot of fun. Saturday, I was dressed up as Frank West. Well, partly dressed up as Frank West. I actually forgot my suit jacket at home and didn't realize it until it was time to dress up as this character. But thankfully, I had people to walk around with and hang out with, so they still kind of figured out who I was. And I'm very good at immersing myself into a character where, like, I act like that character and everything. So, me and Kyle dressed up as Frank West and Chuck Green from the Dead Rising series. And we had another friend of ours who actually dresses up as Nemesis from the Resident Evil series. So we thought we would have an interesting photo shoot where Chuck and Frank had to fight Nemesis, and that was actually a lot of fun. So I'm definitely glad that we had a chance to do that photo shoot. And Mary, I am anxiously waiting those photos, so get a hold of me as soon as you can. But on to people to thank. It's not as big of a list as it usually is, but these are the people that, like, I feel deserve mention and my thanks and everything. And these are definitely some of the people that I saw the most out of the weekend. Nicole was definitely with me the entire weekend, so I'm definitely glad that you had a good time. I did my best to try and make sure you had a good time, and you took care of me in the only way you know how to do. So you definitely have my gratitude for that. Thank you, I appreciate it. Johnny and Anastasia, y'all roomed with us. Y'all were absolute pleasure to have in the room. You're welcome to room with us anytime. I'll see what I can do about keeping the careless whisper stuff that me and Johnny were doing down to a minimum, or to do it even more than we were doing, so we can see if we can finally make somebody pee their pants from laughing. Richard, you're my brother. I love you to death. You always have my back no matter what. You were kind of hard to pin down from time to time, but when I did see you, we did have a good time and everything. I definitely enjoyed our photo shoot that we had, and definitely looking forward to finally getting you down to North Carolina to do Animazement with me. Dee Dee, same thing goes. I didn't see you all that much, but I'm glad when I do see you. I'm glad that we can talk and all that type of stuff, so thank you very much for spending some time with me. Kyle, Mary, Rudy, the majority of my Saturday was spent doing that photo shoot with you. It was a lot of fun. Rudy, I'm sorry for accidentally dinging you on the head with the baseball bat. And I'm really looking forward to those photos coming out. Daniel, I was originally supposed to be rooming with you, and then we had some complications and we wound up getting our own room. But nevertheless, I love talking to you. You and me have a lot in common. We always have something to talk about. It's always a blast talking to you. Definitely looking forward to seeing you again. Let's see, who else we got here? Ryan, you were hanging out with me at the Marvel tournament. We've definitely been talking more and more now, since both of us are in the fighting game community, getting pretty serious about it and everything, so we've definitely gotten more to talk about as of late. So definitely glad I hung out with you for a little while, and I'll probably be seeing you before I see anyone else, since you'll also be at Civil War with me. So look forward to seeing you then, and look forward to fighting you again, because yeah, I'm still a little salty about River City Bowl there, guy. Tyrone, you and me hung out at the Soul Calibur tournament. We definitely got shafted a little bit. It's going to be time to go back to the lab and brush up on things. I'm going to be looking forward to what you can teach me and what I can learn from you. To be honest, so I can beat you. So, yeah. Definitely glad I got to hang out with you and everything. Afro, Tony, the only times I really got to see y'all was at the dance-off and when y'all were walking around as the Jabberwockies. I didn't get to talk to y'all all that much, but I'm glad that I at least got to see y'all for a little bit, so thank you for that. Nikki J, I pretty much only saw you in passing every now and then. We chit-chatted for a little bit, but, I mean, it was nothing fancy. It was just kind of our usual thing. We saw each other, we were happy to see each other, give each other a hug and kiss, and then we went and did our own thing. So, nothing much to say there, except thanks for coming out. I'm glad I got to see you and everything. Stephanie, we didn't hang out as much as I would like, but we did kind of have our own thing with the karaoke thing, since we were both doing that. So, I'm definitely glad that we got to spend some time together and doing something that we both enjoy. And I really do look forward to seeing you more. Stacy, you and me are kind of in the same boat where we're not entirely sure how our convention future is going to pan out. So if this did wind up being the last time we see each other at a con, I'm glad that I got to see you and everything. Love you to death. And be sure to keep in touch, definitely. Johnny Cage. I am going to call you Johnny Cage because I don't know your real name and you dress up as Johnny Cage. You stole the fucking show at the dance-off. Every award that was given to you was definitely well earned. I don't care what anybody else has to say. You were definitely MVP for that event. And you and me actually talked quite a bit Friday night, and we ran into each other a few times during the convention. So I definitely look forward to keeping in touch with you and everything. Blake, I haven't heard from you in a long fucking time. Not since Otakon. back in July, and you told me, yeah, nobody's really heard from me and all that much. Definitely glad I got to see you and talk to you for a little bit, man. Missed you to death. Yeah, well, hopefully I get to see you a little bit more. I don't know if you'll be coming to Animazement or not, but I hope you do, and we can hang out and chill a little bit more. Demi, it's always a pleasure to see you, and thank you for telling me what you got me for Christmas, even though I haven't gotten it yet. We only got to hang out for a little bit, but we were both busy. We know what the deal is with that. We'll find time to hang out with each other when schedule permits. So definitely glad I got to see you, glad I got to hang out. Scott, we hit a few snags at the beginning of the year, but I'm glad that both of us were big enough and man enough to be able to set all of our problems aside and wipe the slate clean and try again. You're one of the most important people in my life. It was rough not having you around, and it's not something I want to go through again. So I'm glad that we got that taken care of and we're starting over. So yeah, that's not easy for me to say, but it's completely heartfelt. It really is. Next on the agenda, I haven't really decided which direction I want to take yet, whether I want to do another e-cigarette review, another Road to Evo review, or maybe a game review or something or another. I want to get the Super review out as soon as I can, but this is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. So I'll be putting out little smaller videos just to keep up appearance, because I want to be able to give y'all something to watch while I'm working on this thing, because this thing is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Next appearances, won't have anything else for the rest of the month, and I won't have much in the terms of March. There's not a whole lot going on in March for me. April, I'll be participating in 2 different tournaments. One is Flawless Victory, and Civil War, which is Richmond's Road to Evo event, which I'll be covering both of those, shooting and taking video, and also competing as well. So, I guess in the meantime, I'll be continuing to work on videos. I'll still be doing my live stream. We finally finished all the Mega Man classic games, and we are now into the Mega Man X game. So I'm actually finally going to have some fun doing these streams again, because my god, I did not think Mega Man games could piss me off that bad, but they did. But I got through them. I was a trooper, and now we're going to move on to some games that I really do enjoy playing. So, since I have a lot of content and everything, I'm not necessarily going to be doing a picture montage this time around. I'll probably just put up a few snippets of pictures that I personally liked, and then I'll post everything else onto my Facebook that you can go and see there. And I'll also be posting my performance from the karaoke, as well as my friend Stephanie's performance, and maybe a little snippet of Afro's performance as a Jabberwocky throughout the weekend, but I'll be posting those separately. So, thank you everybody who came out to Katsucon. Thank you everybody who talked and hung out with me, and I love the networking with all of you. I really appreciate it, especially everybody in the fighting game community and everybody in the karaoke community. Y'all mean the world to me, and your support means even more. So thank you everyone. This will definitely be the last Katsucon I ever go to. It's just not for me. Don't let that discourage you from going, but I'll be going to MagFest instead, and with the pro fighting thing really kicking into gear, next year I will be attending Winter Brawl instead of Katsucon. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.
くな